What if everything you were told since childhood about the world, its suffering, and chaos was a deliberate inversion designed to hijack your perception and trap you in something else? What if the God you were taught to pray to is not the true source but an impostor, a false architect weaving a prison you should never escape? You've always sensed silently that something doesn't fit, that no matter how much you play by the rules, the game is rigged, that suffering, division, and greed don't align with the idea of divine perfection. But you are not alone. The Gnostics named this deception the demiurge, the manipulator of the material realm, obsessed with control, a false creator, a jailer disguised as the true God. Yet here's what they desperately tried to hide: his power exists because of your ignorance, your separation from your divine spark, and your sleep. To maintain this, the demiurge designed reality as a vast labyrinth repeating life after life until you learn to see beyond the veil. Let's lift that veil and explore forbidden histories and ancient texts that churches and empires tried to bury, guided by whispers of sages and Gnostics who dared to speak the cosmic lie. Unlike Plato's neutral cosmic craftsman, in Gnosticism, the demiurge is an arrogant ruler who mistakes limited power for absolute dominion. Linked symbolically to Saturn, he imposes limits, trapping spirit in matter and crystallizing life into rigid patterns. Throughout history, this energy was fed consciously or unconsciously by cults, rituals, and wars, all serving the same archetype under many names and masks. Today's polarizations follow the same pattern. For the Gnostics, the trick is convincing humanity to worship the source, when in truth their devotion flows to something much darker. The demiurge operates with archons, agents and extensions who mimic, recycle, and drain life force, sustaining the system. But hope exists. Liberation comes from self-knowledge, from awakening the divine spark within you that the demiurge cannot touch. Each time you realize you are not your imposed fears, labels, or roles, you reclaim territory from the false creator. To escape, you must see the bars, and here, the bars are perception itself. The demiurge's supreme weapon is inversion, making the false sacred and the sacred dangerous. To truly create is to emanate love and unity unconditionally. The demiurge's realm only offers contracts, hierarchies, and punishment. Your ego is the internal demiurge's mirror, the crust around your divine spark hardened by programming and wounds. Break that crust and light shines through. The first act of freedom is to observe thoughts that come from fear, competition, or validation without obeying them. Start your day in silence, feeling the spark in your chest, not as metaphor but as living reality. Let it expand, dissolving the false self and burning the borrowed scripts of daily life. The goal is not to kill the ego but to dethrone it, turning it into a tool rather than a lord. This is how to navigate the false creator's systems without letting them define you. Remember, being awakened can itself become an ego trap. The demiurge just wears a different mask. So invert your gaze, instead of reacting outwardly, turn attention inward and ask, who here is conscious? What do I do to be conscious? Seeing the great manipulation, rest there. In that place, ego silences and the demiurge's voice fades. The false creator shaped the stage where you walk, wrote the rules most follow blindly, and hid behind sacred names, comforting illusions, and confusion. For many, this suffices. But if you hear whispers, perhaps the God taught in religions isn't the source, and suffering isn't divine will but the byproduct of a flawed architect, then there may be something beyond the veil. The Gnostics risked everything to transmit this. They knew if even one soul remembered, the illusion would begin to crumble. Because the demiurge's power depends entirely on forgetting. When you remember, the control cracks. And here is the key: the rulers of this realm are called the lords of karma, not mystical justice but the weight of the past. Patterns and cause-effect loops trap you on the same carousel because the information is the same and nothing changes. Step into Dharma, the open space of now, pure sovereignty. Act not by programming, memory, or fear but through direct connection to the source. Every choice of Dharma sends a signal into the morphic field of consciousness. You become a beacon showing the way out, disrupting mass consciousness. Ancient wisdom pointed exactly to that liberation within: man, know thyself. Plato's cave myth reveals shadows projected in a prison world. Zoroastrianism spoke of the sacred fire in the chest, the divine spark inside, the true savior. When that flame sleeps, the demiurge rules. When it awakens, the demiurge trembles. If this message stirs something ancient within you, honor that flame by living the remembrance, not as a new belief, but as daily practice of attention, silence, discernment, and refusal to ally with falsehood. The door has always been in the center of your being. Light it, remember, and cross through the world of illusions into your truth.